So I'm not exactly sure what gameplay I'm going to have in the background. It'll likely be Battlefield 5 beta gameplay and maybe something else, but today we need to discuss the latest problems with Electronic Arts and some of the things that they face. It's been a while since we last discussed this slimy publisher, and you might think that things have been going smoothly for them, but it's not. A quick rundown to some of the things that have happened was back in late August, controversy struck when a promotional image for DLC of Star Wars Battlefront 2 teased a droideka, which made many in the community ecstatic and excited. But it actually turned out to be a mistake, and DICE tried saying it wasn't a droideka, but an environmental clutter, which just made this small mistake into a massive one. As for the time, the community was livid about this. To the beginning of September, outrage arose when it was revealed that DICE had censored certain words in Battlefield 5, which included white man and DLC, something DICE blamed on their profanity filter, which they said was a work in progress. Then in mid-September, 15 European countries announced they were planning to take action against the loot box threat, which included the United Kingdom, France, Spain, and Ireland. To October, FIFA 19's loot box odds were revealed, which just shows how atrocious these publishers have been treating their consumers, but honestly it's not really a surprise. They make it that to get the best cards you have to cough up sometimes thousands of dollars just to have a chance to get rare or the best cards that come with less than 1% chance for players to receive. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, there's been a steady amount of BS that I personally haven't had the chance to get to, but today we have to discuss, well, some of the latest crap that is going on with EA. First, it was revealed yesterday that the United States government will be investigating loot boxes. Specifically, the Federal Trade Commission, or the FTC, agreed to launch an investigation. Via Polygon, FTC Chairman Joe Simmons affirmed Senator Hassan's request that loot boxes be investigated. The exchange took place in a Senate Commerce subcommittee hearing that was mainly focused on data privacy issues, but which ranged into other territories. Hassan would state the following about the loot box problem.
Specifically, we discussed loot boxes, which allow in-game purchases with real currency for surprise winnings, and most of you agreed that this is an area that could use additional oversight by the FTC. Loot boxes are now endemic in the video game industry and are present in everything from casual smartphone games to the newest high-budget video game releases. Loot boxes will represent a $50 billion industry by the year 2022. Children may be particularly susceptible to engaging with these in-game purchases, which are often considered integral components of video games. And just this month, Great Britain's Gambling Commission released a report finding that 30% of children have used loot boxes in video games.
Look, I've said it from the start, I hate that we've gotten to this point where these publishers cannot regulate themselves or stop pushing these predatory practices into really everything. I even warned that this day would come. Companies like Electronic Arts and Activision have been playing with fire, and now, surprise, surprise, loot boxes are glorified gambling and contributing to a rise in children gambling addicts. Don't believe me? Well, the United Kingdom Gambling Commission published a study a week ago which detailed how the number of child gamblers has quadrupled in just 2 years. In that study, they added raised concerns that close to 1 million young people have been exposed to gambling through loot boxes in video games or on a smartphone app. These can involve a player paying money for an item that is only revealed after purchasing. Back in September, an Australian study was conducted which concluded, surprise, surprise, people who have problems with gambling tend to spend more on loot boxes. Lead investigators Dr. David Zendel and Dr. Paul Cairns examined nearly 7,500 individuals, and they stated our large-scale study found important links between loot box spending and problem gambling. The more severe a gamer's problem gambling was, the more likely they were to spend large amounts of money on loot boxes. These results strongly support claims that loot boxes are psychologically akin to gambling, and they would further add gaming industry statements typically disassociate loot boxes from gambling. They instead highlight similarities between loot boxes and harmless products like trading cards or baseball cards or Kinder Surprise eggs. By contrast, researchers argue that loot boxes share so many formal similarities with other forms of gambling that they meet the psychological criteria to be considered gambling themselves. These results support the position of academics who claim that loot boxes are psychologically akin to gambling. I didn't need a study to know all of this, but it is nice to see the crappy argument EA and other publishers like Activision try using is now backed by research proving them wrong. Which I will add that today the Australian government announced that they would would be investigating loot boxes. But back to Senator Hassan and the FTC decision, because after it was announced that an investigation would be launched by the United States government, the Entertainment Software Association, or the ESA, which represents publishers like Electronic Arts, Activision, Take-Two Interactive, Bethesda, Konami, Ubisoft, and more, put out a statement responding to this saying, loot boxes are one way that players can enhance the experience that video games offer. Contrary to assertions, loot boxes are not gambling. They have no real-world value. Players always receive something that enhances their experience, and they are entirely optional to purchase. They can enhance the experience for those who choose to use them, but have no impact on those who do not. Although again, recent studies disprove this dumbass argument. In the past, the ESA has done a remarkable job at downplaying this issue and acting like they are taking action by putting a sticker on a game, but it's a little too late, and the only ones who deserve blame are the greedy publishers for not waking up and changing. Many of these publishers, like Electronic Arts, make most of their money from loot boxes, so they will continue to fight, but the world has woken up and Star Wars Battlefront 2 is the game that caused all of this, because it finally showed everyone how predatory an entertainment company can be. Now, besides the big loot box news, Electronic Arts' big release of this fall is not doing too good, which is actually contributing to their stock taking a near 40 to 50% plummet since July of this year, which deserves a huge yikes. Battlefield 5 has been a polarizing game from the start because of EA's management playing politics, which anyone should know is bad for business. Telling consumers if they don't like it, don't buy it seems to be exactly what is going on. Battlefield 5, which had a really weird release schedule, technically releasing just about a week ago, ain't doing very well. Battlefield 5 sales are down 63% on Battlefield 1 and the United Kingdom retail charts. Also on places like Metacritic, users are review bombing the score, which goes alongside the actual somewhat mixed to positive critic reviews. Furthermore, the game has already been discounted by 50%, and it's only been out for just about 1 week, which should be evidence enough that sales are not going very well. There are many factors why Battlefield 5 is doing so poorly, but ultimately there's just so many better options this fall, and Red Dead Redemption 2 quite literally has stolen DICE's audience and spot. Red Dead Redemption 2, which was not discounted, fell to number 3 in the United Kingdom, but even the game that's been out for about a month enjoyed a small sales improvement, up 36% thanks to hardware bundling with the PlayStation 4. Overall in the United Kingdom, the physical retail top 10 for the week ending November 24th is number 1 FIFA 19 because it's FIFA, number 2 Call of Duty Black Ops 4 because it's Call of Duty, and then number 3 Red Dead Redemption 2, get used to hearing that name, and then at number 4 Battlefield 5. Things are not going well for Electronic Arts, and it's because of bad decisions. Following Battlefield 5, the next big release from them is BioWare's Anthem, which it'll be interesting to see how it performs, but for right now, Electronic Arts continues to face problem after problem, and maybe once they start paying attention to what consumers actually want, things can change, but for now it's still money over everything, and I promise you that strategy ain't gonna work long term, especially since if loot boxes get banned, and the one company to blame, and it will hurt the most, is Electronic Arts. Anyway guys, what do you make of this dumpster fire that is Electronic Arts? Leave your thoughts down in the comment section below, but thank you for watching. Make sure to leave a like if you did enjoy this video or found any informative value, and consider subscribing for more videos like this, and I'll see you later.